Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Now then, if you've been tuning into the channel for any amount of time, you may remember about a year ago I drove an absolutely bonkers Mark II S-Type Jag with a V8 in the front, thanks to a good friend of mine, Mark Blake. Well, Mark's come up trumps again. These two might look relatively normal. Well, that one does, that one maybe not so. These are two friends of Mark's. Howard has a beautiful Morris Oxford and Simon a Morris Minor. However, both of these are a little bit bonkers as well. Actually, scratch that, they are completely bonkers. That has a Chevy V8 and that has a twin turbo V8. And in this, the first of two videos starring these two amazing cars, we're going to take a good look around this one. A twin turbo V8 Morris Minor, obviously. Now there is so much to talk about with this car. What I plan to do when we go out for a drive is take Simon with me and he can tell us a lot more about the details. But basically this car was built by a guy called Andy Beveridge and it was inspired by a car made by Nick Mann, who in 1985 was the fastest street legal car. So it is a fairly famous shape. And for me, when I got the photograph sent to me of this car, I just thought, oh my god, this thing just looks absolutely incredible. We'll open the bonnet in a minute and you can see the engineering inside the bonnet. It really is quite something special. These massive side air intakes as well, big radiators behind the cabin, but I just think it looks incredible. Now, one of the things we will experience on the road very shortly is how this car is to drive. By all accounts, it's not as loud as you would think, and it's actually quite civilized. But the one thing you will want to see is what's under the bonnet. So let's pop the bonnet on this one. Now, accessing the bonnet isn't a quick thing. There are three fasteners on each side. So I've got Simon to come in and help me. So we'll just lift this clamshell and you can see what's underneath. Take it away, my friend. Unbelievable. Now then, normally a Morris Minor would have a 4-cylinder 1000cc engine producing, oh, I don't know, 30, 35 horsepower, something like that. Now, it's basically got a Range Rover V8 with twin turbos producing, well, actually about 350 to 400 horsepower, but it could go more than that, but then things start to break and also you'd probably end up in a hedge. I mean, maybe there is a case of too much power isn't a good thing, but it's just a stunning, I mean, firstly, the packaging, how this has been packaged to fit on the front of this car is a superb piece of engineering. Little things worth noting, by the way, the two turbochargers on this car are actually off of a McLaren 12C. And I love the big intake pipes with the air filters on them. It's just a stunning, stunning thing. So I think it's about time, because I certainly haven't got any more patience, I'm desperate to experience this, that we take this car up the road and we just find out a little bit more from Simon about the car, ownership of the car, a little bit of the history, because it's just a sensational piece of engineering. Now then, YouTube, welcome Simon to the channel.
Hello YouTube.
Mate, what a bonkers car.
Thank you.
The first thing I'm noticing is it's like a Lamborghini from the 80s and then some. My legs are kind of going that way and they've got about this much space. I mean,
that's where the engine is, you see.
Yeah. Now I understand. You know when I mentioned about the packaging and getting it in, now I know why it's there. So, fire her up and tell me about this car. Silky smooth.
It's very smooth, yeah, very quiet. Can't really hear it inside.
So my instant expectations of this car. Pull away, mate, and we can talk while you're driving. My instant expectations of this car were that it would be fire-breathing, window-breaking, raucous.
Anything but.
Yeah.
Smooth as silk.
Yeah. So engine-wise, obviously we got a twin turbo V8, 350 odd horsepower, something like that. 350
to 400. Never been rolling roaded. Friend who built the car mapped it all himself with his laptop sitting here.
Yeah.
And that's Good to go.
So you now, one of the things that you mentioned off camera, which I instantly picked up on because I am a massive Caterham fan. We're going to go left. And you had a Hayabusa Caterham.
Yep, Hayabusa Caterham I built from scratch, and Andy, who built this car, helped me do the engine installation with that, and that was obviously dry sumped, standard Hayabusa engine. I bought a complete motorbike and built it into the Caterham, and yeah, that was quite a mad car as well, but really totally drivable.
Clearly you've got a slight mad gene somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a few mad cars.
Straight over
this
here.
Isn't the only one.
So, I mean, instantly I thought it would be very barky and very shouty, but it really isn't. Is it boosty?
No, it's not. It's really easy to drive. Yes, when it obviously gets a bit manic when you're revving it a bit harder.
Yeah.
Just make sure you hold on to the steering wheel.
keeps your toes on fire.
Really sedate. Look, there we are. 5th gear, 40 mile an hour.
Let's just chill out.
Oodles along.
I really like that because it has all the ability to destroy things on the road, I'm sure, but it doesn't have the ability at this kind of speed to destroy you and put you in a ditch.
No, it totally
is always a good thing. Any work needed on the chassis? Because I'm imagining that thing produces proper amounts of torque. It twists the car in half.
Yeah, this is home built chassis based on an AC Cobra.
Okay.
My friend went to Southern Roadcraft at the time and basically copied one of their chassis in his head, took some measurements, and then went back to his garage and built it using a E-type rear end with a limited slip diff.
Yeah.
And its XJ front end.
So hold on a minute. So which bit is Morris Minor?
Most of the body shell, the roof, the doors.
I didn't realise that. So I'm guessing that is brilliant. And then no seats in the back, obviously, but they didn't have. Well, unless you got the Morris Traveller, which was the estate version, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, but then the coolest thing is you were saying that this car was originally a police panda car.
Yeah, back in its day, that's how it started.
With the old light blue and the white doors and the round blue light on the roof.
That's it, flashing away.
I'm sure I had one of those as a corgi or a dinky toy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Consumption and stuff.
I've done a few runs in it. Been to a friend's place up in Suffolk, and it returned about 32 to the gallon. So yeah, great.
32?
Yeah.
I thought it would be like 3.2.
Yeah. When it's boosted up, it probably is 3.2. Yeah, very good. Doesn't weigh anything really. About just under a tonne.
Wowzers. So it's, I mean, so 350 odd horsepower, and it weighs under a tonne. That's where the kind of performance comes in. Brakes and stopping power?
Yeah, they're Jag XJ front discs, servo, E-type rear discs.
There she is. That's cool. That kind of spool up with a blow-off valve. That's what you want. Oh, that sounds amazing on blow-off. Yes. I like this car. That's cool, man. It's a striking looking car from the outside anyway, with those big air intakes just in front of the rear wheels and the kind of wider hips and stuff. But apart from that, it's quite sleeper on the outside.
Yeah, it's not over the top at all.
No. And you're not tempted to, I don't know, has it got lots of baffles on the exhaust, or is it purposely made quiet?
Purposely made quiet, yeah.
You like it that way?
Yeah, definitely. I like to not get too much of attention.
No. Now we're being super careful today because we've had a big dry spell here and then lots of rain last night, and that is the perfect recipe for basically destroying cars. Oh man, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So did you just use it as a Sunday car, or did you take it to shows and things?
Yeah, I took it around Goodwood a couple of weeks ago, did a track day with it.
What's it like on track?
Really good, yeah, really neutral handling, a bit like the Caterham.
Because you would think, lightweight, very heavy in the front, all the power through the back, it would be a bit snappy, but...
It's pretty well 50-50 with the engine set back here, gearbox here,
yeah,
back axle. It's really quite 50-50 split really,
yeah,
on the way.
And I noticed I've got your performance car magazines and things in the background.
Yeah, it's been in those.
So that's I'll hold it. I'll put some still shots over here.
Converted car of the year '95 when Andy built it.
Yeah.
And then the car he based it on, which is Nick Mann's fire-breathing Miner that held lots of sprint records around the country.
What I really love about this, okay, and the reason I got these magazines out is you bought these magazines back in the day. They were in your loft, and you found them. And this is February 1985, Street Machine, and the car on the front. Well, we're sat in a very good replica of it.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, mate. Really, really cool. So any plans for it, or are you just going to enjoy it?
Just to try and use it as much as I can. I've got a few other cars as well I've built.
Oh, really?
So I've got a bit of a collection.
Any other interesting, silly things?
Renault 4 with a Gordini engine in it, 5-speed gearbox that I built and took it down to the south of France for a run. I did Le Mans, then the French Grand Prix down in the south, and did a road trip of that a couple of years ago. An NSU TT, which was originally rear-engined, air-cooled, which is now mid-engined with a using a Europa chassis. So great weight distribution with an XC 2-litre lump mid-engine in it. I built that about the same time this was being built, so that's probably 25 years ago. Still got that. Just finished building a Renault 8 Gordini. That's got a 1550 5-speed.
Oh wow! I mean, that's I guess one of the things. This was built by somebody else, but having a car like this, if you're not a good spanner, you're going to spend a lot of time on the phone with people, right?
Yeah.
I guess it takes a bit of tweaking and
yeah, just looking after, just fetting it really, but it's pretty robustly built.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh yes! That's what we've been waiting for. There you go, YouTube. I was just saying, it's one of these cars. It reminds me a little bit of the Z Cars Mini I drove. I don't know if you saw that on the channel.
Yeah.
But that was Civic Type R engine in the back, and in many respects it was very civilised to drive. But it's one of these cars that if you disrespect it just a little bit, it's going to bite you on the bum. Oh man, that on throttle, that sounds
lovely.
That sounds mega. Really, really mega. But you were saying, you could tune it up to be more powerful, but then there comes a point where you think, well, actually, right now, this is
lovely to drive. It's reliable.
Yeah, 350 horsepower in a 1,000 kilo car. Yeah. I don't get the feeling it needs to be that much faster somehow. I wonder what the original was. It was the original designer of the Morris Minor. It was Isigonis, was it? He was the
so, yeah.
It was Isigonis, wasn't it? I wonder what he'd think. He thinks
So he'd love it.
His little 30 horsepower original Morris Minor with 10 times that amount of power. I actually really like, there's a part of me wishing it was fire breathing and popping and crackling and banging, but that would be uncouth, I think, in a car like this, you just
You couldn't have a conversation like
no,
this.
you can't. But what you do get is you can get the induction and the turbo noises, the wastegate noises, and it's a fantastic car. We've been working on this car, or getting this car on the channel, for quite a while. Mark first sent me a picture of your car a long time ago, or last year sometimes, said, you've got to get this car on the channel. So thank you so much for bringing it over to Goodwood and letting me share it with these guys. Guys, I'd love to know what you think of this car. I've tried my best to convey what it looks like from the outside and the experience, but I think it's one of these cars you really have to see it in the metal. It's very special. So if you're at a show or you see it in a car park, you've got to come over and come and have a chat, and you can find out all there is to know about it. Mike, thank you so much for bringing it over.
Good, great.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that one. Very tricky conditions today in terms of road slip and stuff. So, but absolutely brilliant car. Anyway, what you need to do is stay tuned, because in the next part of this video we're going to jump into the Morris Oxford, which looks like a proper bit of kit.
Yeah, it does.
Chevy V8. Rather than so this is, I quite like this is like proper, like British all through and through.
Yeah.
Range Rover engine in a British kind of iconic car, proper engineering. And we're going to jump in the next video, in next week's Friday feature, into the Morris Oxford with a Chevy V8. But you tune into that one, guys. But for now, while we wait at this set of traffic lights and wind the window down, the aircon's not very good in this, is it?
No, it's not.
I shall see you on the next video. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you have done so, give us a thumbs up. Definitely thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol. Plenty more content to come. And we'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe. We're going to head back to Goodwood now. We'll swap V8